Hi, welcome into this Shopify Capital review. I'm going to be uncovering all you need to know about this program. Is it legitimate? Can you get fast funding? No credit check funding, and so much more. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, my name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions, and I come out with videos like this on alternative funding and so much more on all small business loans and different opportunities for you to take advantage of. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos I come out with. Let's get right into it. You're looking at the homepage, and in a second, I'm going to show you what it looks like once you're logged in. If you are just a beginner getting started with Shopify, what it will look like more or less, and what to expect more as an intermediate and experienced Shopify member. Now, it says here, simplified fast funding, get your business moving and accelerate growth with quick and easy access to funds through Shopify Capital. So I've done videos in the past. It's kind of similar in a way with PayPal, like Loan Builder, these kind of things where you can get an account with PayPal and then you can get predetermined an amount, or you can get an amount and then you're expected to be deducted a certain amount of a percentage of sales you make. So that's what's to expect with Shopify. There will be a certain percentage. It can range. It can be like 10% up to 17% and so forth and more. But whatever amount of sales you make for a day, you'll be deducted a certain percentage of it. And it depends also on the type of amount of funding you get approved for and you accept. So that's one thing to look at. Log in to check eligibility. That's what you'll want to do. And this information will be down below in the description as well. So check that out. Skip the application, get funded quickly, repay from sales. Avoid lengthy application processes with minimal paperwork and no credit checks. Get funding quickly, receive your funding within days of accepting your offer, and then repay from your sales. This goes back to what I said, you get deducted a percentage of the sales you make. Return funding as a percentage of your sales with payments that flex to fit your business. It's time to make your moves. You can use this amount of funding you get for payroll funding, inventory funding, and then marketing funding as well. Here are what some people are saying. After I received my funding from Shopify Capital, I was able to use that money for marketing the next day from healthy foods. I just didn't want to deal with the whole process of going through traditional lending. I wanted to focus on the business. A traditional loan felt cumbersome and more restrictive. Shopify Capital has a different mentality to it. It's so easy. So before we move forward, if you're here because you weren't able to get funding traditionally through a bank, you can't continue to reach deeper into your savings, whether it's completely depleted or you want to save that for a rainy day, a vacation, your kid's tuition one day, college, and you can't turn to your friends and family for help anymore. I know that feeling. It is something you do not want to at least do or continuously keep on doing. I know the pain of that. And so going through the traditional route, through the whole banking system and having to supply with tax forms and showing higher credit histories and having to show more personal information and what you are required to give to them is so much more upfront, and the funding you get is not a quick turnaround. Don't expect it to be the same day, 24 hours, up to 5 days and so forth. And you go to the traditional route, yeah, you may get lower interest rates and longer terms, but you get the funding later on. It might not even be in a month, 3 months, could be 6+ months sometimes. So that's a factor to consider. Unlike with Shopify Capital, as a pro, you get the funding into your account once you accept what you're eligible for. So here we have a little bit more of a testimonials, and then learn more about business funding your business with the blog, help docs, and FAQ. And we'll kind of get into that here in a second before I show you inside. As you can see there, let's click that button. Here are some FAQs on this page, what you are going to expect. And I'll also leave this down below in the description so you can check this out. How long does it take to receive funding from Shopify Capital? After you've looked through your pre-qualified amounts and requested the best one for you, and that'll be once you're in your account. You'll find out whether your request is approved within 2 to 5 business days. If your request is approved, then you could receive the funding in your bank account as soon as the next business day. So it's very quick turnaround. No, if you switch your payment provider to Shopify Payments when you request funding, then it may take a little bit longer than 5 business days to approve your request. So can anybody apply for funding from Shopify Capital? No. If you're eligible to request funding, then you're invited to review your funding options. Only merchants who are offered funding can request funding from Shopify Capital. So there may be some things where you have to have a little bit more time in business. You have to have been using the Shopify platform for some time And I created this quote unquote dummy account very quickly to just show you what it would look like as a beginner getting started and what to expect, so you're not all surprised. So how do I know if I'm eligible for funding? If Shopify Capital has found out you're eligible to request funding, then you'll receive an email and a message in your Shopify admin inviting you to view your pre-qualified amounts. If you haven't been invited to view your funding options, then you're not currently eligible for it. How do they decide whether you're eligible to request funding? Your store is located in the US, Canada, or the United Kingdom. Your business has a low risk profile. Your store has Shopify payments or another third-party payment provider enabled. Your store processes a certain amount of sales. So again, that comes back to time and the amount of sales you've been generating, which is a very common thing. Don't expect it to be any other way. Okay, so if you're a startup company who's like, well, it's been very difficult for me to get funding, and I don't know if I can get it through Shopify, then I'll leave information of that down below in the description, things like SBA. You have all other options as well. And if you are not eligible for funding with somebody like Shopify, then I recommend going through a company like David Allen Capital, where you can get up to 2 million incredibly fast and even up to 25,000 same day instant approval. And yes, it isn't a complete startup. You have to have at least 4+ months and even 6+ months in business with up to 25,000. But low monthly requirements as little as 5,000 plus per month. A business checking account here at 6 months in business for 150 plus FICO credit score, which is really low and poor. All industries are included. So that's an alternative option there very quickly that I wanted to address and put on the table for you right now to Shopify Capital. And if you're a business owner who has an LLC, a corp, sometimes we do accept sole proprietors, but for the most part we don't, unless you have an EIN, a business checking account, business online banking is set up, but for the most part it isn't. But that's something to make sure you consider if you're looking for an alternative way to get funding really fast into your account with David Allen Capital. That information will be down below in the description for you to look at. So here's more information. How long is my pre-qualified amount valid? Offer is generally valid for 30 days, but are constantly reassessed. A pre-qualified amount can increase, decrease, or be revoked at any time. What happens if my pre-qualified amounts expire? Then you can request that pre-qualified amount anymore. Then you can't, excuse me. It is removed from your capital page. If you still pre-qualify for funding, then your pre-qualified amounts are displayed in the place of the expired ones. If you don't currently pre-qualify, then none are displayed on the capital page. So just to show you a little bit about that, this is the capital page we're looking at. Now at the moment I said like earlier, this is kind of that dummy account that I'm going to show you. And when you're getting started and you have nothing that you're eligible for, but you can tell us how much you're interested in, and we'll notify you as soon as that offer comes up on the table. And then you can say something like 10K to 50K, and then you can click that button there, and there it says we'll notify you. How does it work? Skip the paperwork, no hidden fees, return based on sales, and get funds quickly. So again, a dummy account that I created, but when you have your account and you're eligible for it, you'll see it here on the screen. It'll give you like 3 or so different options of like 10,000, 23,000, 17,000, doesn't matter which, it can vary. And then it'll give you a percentage of how much you'll be deducted daily. So this, a bit of a con, it could pull back your cash flow. So if you're a business that's not in growth or expansion, and like I tell everybody, if you're not ready to take that funding because it will hurt your bottom line and you will not be stable and you will not continue to profit, then it really doesn't make a lot of sense to take the funding, does it? If you feel like taking 23,000 and you get it, let's say you get 23,000 approved for, and then 17% is what you will expect to pay back in return. And how much are you getting in sales per month or per day? Let's say per day, because we're doing a daily deduction. So we're saying you're doing 3,000, and then you would multiply that by 0.17. That's about $510 right there. That's taken out of your account daily, and you get approved for 23,000. So that's something to consider when we look at the 510, and that's Sunday through Sunday. So we do that times 7, we do $3,570 per week. And then we multiply that by 4, that's $14,280 being deducted per month over the duration of your using that loan amount. So take that into consideration. If you feel like that's too high of an amount, you can take less, weigh your options, do the math. And if you want to explore an alternative option and you meet these requirements, you can come and check this out, and I'll do more math for you here too, as when we talk about what are the rates and what are the terms Again, these are calculated on no interest and total payback, and then I can do a number crunching for you, and I can show you things that would happen daily, how it would look like weekly, on a monthly basis, your month to month terms, and how long you can go yearly. So make sure to look at that down below. How much my Shopify Capital offer? From 200 to 22 million USD or 200 to 2 million CAD. Can I negotiate? Nope. Can I get additional funding? Possibly. Why was it? And there's just a little bit more of information there you can check out. So that is what I wanted to give you. And before you leave this video today, I do want to say two things. If you watch this backdrop and you're like, where is he shooting this video from? I've seen him in his last ones. We have people over, and I had to move things out of another room because we're doing some things that we're moving in there. So I'm here temporarily in a smaller closet. So don't think this is a permanent thing. And that's what I wanted you to know. And you can also pick up this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist that'll show you thoroughly step-by-step what to expect before you walk into an application. And you know, with 110% confidence and certainty, you will get approved without wasting time, without saying days, weeks, months, and years of having to sift through information that's just information overload, and you're confused. And you know, when you finally walk in, okay, this is the information I have, and this is what I need to know, that when I walk in, I know I can get approved for this. So make sure you look for that down below in the description. And for any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down for me in the comment section, and reach out to me. All information in the description, like email, social media handles, and so much more. But that's everything from me in this video. Look for all the resources. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any future videos I come out with. Thank you. Bye.